What's going on, guys? It's been a while since I've given you a video, so I just kind of wanted to give you a quick overview of the re-release of the Carbon Cub SS by E-Flite. Real nice orange color scheme. I'll just give you a Broncos jersey for a little reference. So it's a nice bright orange color. Quick tool list for you. We'll get into a lot of this later, but basically the glue is for the rear rudder. You do have to glue that in. So you will need some type of glue, and the little Allens are what I use to put on the suspension screws. Typically I use these T-handles. My set only goes down to 2mm, but if you look, all this nice suspension stuff uses 1.5s and then a nylock nut on the backside. So what I did was use those little Allens to hold these, and then just stuck a pair of needle nose to hold the nylock nut. There's not much resistance to them, so you don't need to get them that incredibly tight. So it's easily done with a pair of needle nose pliers and that wrench. As you move further down, the wing supports on the bottom use pretty much the same setup, except they're 2mm Allens. So I use that 2mm Allen as well as a 7/32 socket. And that 7/32 socket just kind of sits on there nice. It's a nice little 1/4-inch set. And then I was able to tighten these. These you will kind of want to leave a little loose. Since this is a fairly tight tolerance, if you pinch this down really tight, it's going to kind of bind this up. So, just snug them and then maybe back it off a 1/4 turn just to give that a nice movement. Everything else on the plane's pretty much self-explanatory. 2.5s back in on the motor mount. 2mm out here on the cowl. And then the nut's a little bit of an oddball. It's a 7/8 nut, but I just use an adjustable Crescent, but it does have a much larger nut on it, so you will need a Crescent wrench or a 7/8 wrench. And then the only Phillips is on the very tip, where you actually put the nose cone on. But other than that, pretty straightforward assembly. Like I said, just didn't have a 1.5, so I had to kind of get that. One other thing I did notice is I kind of have the wires just coiled in there for the ESC. As you can see, they have been rubbing on this motor. So I do need to figure out a different routing procedure for those. But other than that, pretty straightforward plane. Flies beautifully. If you're a Cub fan, this is definitely a plane for you. And if you have any questions for me, feel free to write down in the comments. And happy flying.